Hello and welcome to Injury Time, everybody. This is Orkos upstairs, Abeshmina is down there, and we have another special guest to talk a lot about football in Assam. Siddharth, thank you so much for joining Injury Time.
You're most welcome. Thank you for the
Yes,
invitation.
I am not going to say thank you to the other two because obviously you're part of the family here. So let's start very quickly. Orko, Indian national team, they won. I mean, I don't want to say they won a Tri Nations tournament and all, but they won the two friendlies, didn't concede a goal. I thought the second game they played quite well against Kyrgyzstan. So, take it away. What do you think of the game?
I think they were much better. Game two, they went very convincing. Game one, I thought the game intensity and pace were low. I didn't think it would suffice for the Asian Cup as we discussed, and I thought Kyrgyzstan were kind of off the boil on that day. Um, I expected them to do slightly better. So for me, I would say the clean sheet was more interesting, and I think the reliance on Sunil is finally kind of fading, right? So I think that's a good aspect. You're on mute.
Sorry, I was on mute. So what about how do you look at it, Abhi? The game that happened because I personally thought it was a very nice game. The second one, honestly, I'm saying this again because it's not very often that we say that.
Yeah, I kind of do agree. I mean, it was a better game to watch than the first one. At least in terms of the movement, it was slightly more fluid. They did use the wings better and even tried to use the midfield also more cohesively. Defensively, they did feel okayish. I would still say that there were quite a lot of gaps there, and Kyrgyz Republic could have actually, converted some of the chances that they created and some very good chances as well there. So yeah, I think in terms of defense, I still feel like they'll have to make it tighter. It's kind of very easy to break through the lines if with just a few one twos. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I felt about the game.
So that's your take on the same the game that happened. I think Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Speaking to me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't watch the match live. I was busy in Boulder Trophy. Of course, it's going on in our city. So I would like to say just one thing. Uh, they were playing actually better than I watched them earlier in some matches also. I think this Indian team is playing better than the this current Indian team. I mean, team which played the Tri Nation, kind of better than the other games. I saw the last game against Kyrgyzstan. I think Kyrgyzstan, yes. So that is what I can say because I didn't see live. Sorry.
No, no problem. The stadium, Lampak. You've been there.
Yeah, the stadium. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't visit the stadium, but the atmosphere was very good. Yes, that's what we need, and we really, no, feel very bad that once Bolo Trophy used to have such crowd. Now it's almost empty gallery. So we're trying our best as organizers, but there are so many obstacles. Let's see for in coming years.
So now that we have touched on the national team, there's not a lot to talk about it there. So moving on to the women's national team, Abby, I'll come to you here. Heartbreaking loss, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a massive chance to get the lead, and then obviously they were not able to make the best of that chance, and they kind of got punished for it right at the end. even a 2-2 like draw would have been great. But I mean, just especially like, losing a game in stoppage time is something that's like that hits you hard. Like you were almost over the line, and it's just that kind of situation. So yeah, but I did think that they played decent, a bit better. I mean, I do feel like overall with like, it's with the men's national team as well as the women's national team, not so much men's ka it happens more because they don't play together much. But with the women's national team, I just feel like when they start playing a lot of games back to back, they just keep getting better. That's because otherwise they have so few games to ride on, that the rust shows in the first few games. So just that whole ability to stitch passes, to understand where your teammates are going to, make their movement and work accordingly with your teammates, it just takes a bit of time. I did feel like they were starting to get better. Indu and Sandhya were combining well. I mean, that Indu, the goal that she scored was amazing, obviously, but that miss from her was also massive. I mean, she should have just gone for a shot there. I mean, she shouldn't have tried to pass it off to Sandhya. I think Sandhya was any which way in an offside position, I felt. But yeah, I mean, she should have just gone for a shot. She had the whole net to aim for. I just don't know what went through her head at that point of time, because otherwise, I do rate Indu highly as a player.
Orko, you want to add something to that as well?
No, I mean, uh, difficult opponent, away from home in Uzbekistan, Dangme's adopted country, no Bala, no Manisha. I think 3-2 was as good as we could have expected, honestly. And I actually sad saying this because we shouldn't have to settle for a draw. We shouldn't. But I mean, and I was talking to somebody and they were bang on. They said we haven't worked on women's football at all. So why we expecting any results? I mean, this is as good as it can get. And that's what I was telling somebody else also. This is as good as it can get. Anything more would have been a shocker. And just saying that, also, are they taking Kyrgyzstan way too lightly? Because there's no Bala and there's no Manisha in the squad. But Odisha have Bala in all of their posters, so presumably she's going to play for Odisha FC, right? But both of them, and like two of India's most dangerous attackers, Dangme is third, not playing against Kyrgyzstan, that's a worry, right? Yeah, but we'll come back to it. I just want to touch upon the senior national championships, and I'm going to ask Sid also. Sid, last time, and you're very, very closely associated with the project because a lot of your girls went on to play for Assam last time, and they made a historic first quarter final, I think, first
Yeah,
quarter final for a
yeah,
long, long, long time. And
long time.
what does it what does it look like this time? What are your assessment of Assam's chances? Can they do something again this time?
Well, the problem is the same like any other parts of the country. I think the lack of game time. Assam doesn't have a state league. You also know that. Assam doesn't have any league actually in terms of football, state league. We have women. It's only some tournaments. Also part of that system. We also were failed to provide them game time as a club because we are not the organizers. We can only play in the tournaments or leagues, and there are none. So yes, they played some. Our three girls, I think, are in the squad, Assam squad, and they played tournaments locally. They are not engaged with us full time. This is the reality. So they go back to their villages and their earlier clubs or academies, and they play there, but not enough games. So I really don't expect much from these girls. But yes, there are some good girls like Sonia Marak. She's also, I think, also in the squad. So I have not seen the squad list fully, but I think Sonia is in the squad. She is in Kickstart right now, I think. She has been transferred from us. So that is also a very unfortunate situation for us, because we played in the qualifiers last time. We were also involved. We saw that was unprepared kind of thing. But we hope that this season will you know put a good team and fight for at least for a top four in Indian Women's League, provided we win the state league. But state league never happened. So again we had to let go these girls, and dreams were broken from for us. So let's see next season. The Assam Football Association is saying that they are holding organizing state leagues. So let's see. So I'm not expecting much from these girls, but of course that last time they were in the quarterfinals without any game also, as you said in your earlier comment, that anything is good for these girls. For Assam girls also, any achievement beyond the rounds. I think there will be group stages, right? So beyond group stages will be an achievement for us, I think.
It's a very interesting topic. So I think we have few questions on the comments and a few questions that came out through Twitter as well earlier. We'll get to that a little later, but we'll get to the main point here. We're just rushing through the first part because we want to talk to Siddhar about football in Assam. So from the initial conversations that you had here and the general understanding that we also have, Assam's football has seen better days, hasn't it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure. We were not probably born or not matured as now that we saw that part of our glorious era. But yeah, we there were better days, and we're trying to bring it back. But I don't know what will happen, because structure is still not in place, and we are hoping for the best, because AF is promising all kind of leagues and other things. So let's hope. Other sorry, without the league structure, without the structure, uh, we cannot hope anything. Yes, baby leagues are coming up. This is the best thing I think recent times for Assam. Baby leagues, I think, is running for in 11 or 12 districts right now, along with us. So we hope this is a start.
Because I recently came to Guwahati, maybe it was the end of last year, and the cab that I got into from the airport had a huge Argentina flag right across it. And that guy spoke to me about Lionel Messi through our entire trip. So it's not like there is no fan base for it, right? Like, and one of the things he said is they don't watch so much about Northeast United because not many players are there from that state. I think Gaurav Bora may be the only one. So, what is the situation there in that with the club and all those things?
Pragyan Gogoi
Uh,
also.
yeah, Progan is also from Assam. Look, clubs are also at fault, I must say. I was coming to that, because in Guwahati, our club is affiliated to Guwahati Sports Association. We have 36 clubs in our four-tier league system. It is one of the toughest in India to get promotion here. 36 clubs, all are almost equals, except some super division clubs like Assam State Electricity Board. Uh, they're all equals. So but these clubs really don't have any system right now to attract crowds and be involved in building a support base. There are clubs, I will not take any name, which is more than 100 years old, but they just build a team, form a team for 1 or 2 months here for the league, and then again vanish. So I don't think that clubs are doing their best. So people are not recognizing the clubs. Forget about the players, and but we have our love for football, because in the our last league match, in the final match, we saw almost 1,000 supporters from our side, from Northeast United FC's reserve side. And that was a great atmosphere in Guwahati after a long time in league, and that is the lowest division at time. So if the lowest division clubs can attract such crowd, the older clubs, the legendary clubs, they can definitely do better. But they're not doing anything right now. So this is one of the worst things, that clubs are taking their supporters in, for granted. in granted. So I think they need to do more in this regard. At the same time, yes, other stakeholders, of course, they are also failed. But as a club member or club owner, I think clubs are also at fault in many aspects.
Okay, and I also just wanted to get your opinion on this, and because I mean I've seen you struggle through the years, as in um, I've seen I've seen what Guwahati City does, and I've seen what Northeast United does, and I've seen what you guys do with limited means. I mean, I think it's great, right? You guys have a baby league. You have a greater Guwahati baby league.
Yes, yes.
Um,
This is
yeah,
the first one
the first
in
one
this, in
I
the
think
state.
in Guwahati,
Yes,
right?
in not Guwahati, in the entire state, and we would
In
have
Assam,
been the
yeah.
first. Yeah, yeah, and I'd like to add, because
Mm,
this is also a kind of reflection of our system. It would have been the first ever baby league in India, because we discussed about it back in 17, 17,
mm,
yeah, 2017. But it didn't happen because of the the faults of our structure. So
mm.
yes, we were the first as in Assam, but not in India because of that. We thought about it first, I think, but it was not
And
executed.
and what sort of development have you seen in the kids that started in the first season? What how
Uh,
they know?
as far as our academies boys are concerned,
Mm,
we added, we had to actually add uh, an under 30, under 14 division in the baby league the first time, because some kind of cutoff date was mismatched with the AIFF, so a lot of kids were left out. So we added that 14 category, and I can say proudly that four of those under 14 guys are now playing with our senior team. So they're playing regularly. uh, yes, four. And at the same time, our under 10 group won the under 13 district league for two times in due course of time.
mm,
Then our under 10s are now playing in the under 13 in the baby league and other competitions. So it's gradually making sense for us, and we are very happy to see them.
mm. So, I mean, given the option between, let's say, starting another age group or starting another baby league, you would take the baby league option.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, game time is the magic bullet.
Mm, mm, mm.
Is the proof. The proof is
Yeah.
there, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
And I've like I said, I've been from hosting the baby leagues to uh, and struggling for so many years to just to play the C division, right? And
Not so many years, not so many years. 2019, we entered into the
yeah,
GSA division, and in the 19, we were the finalist of the C division, but could not win it. But 2020, 21, COVID,
mm,
then 22, we get promoted. Now we are in the B division.
B division.
So, yeah, division.
Yeah. So and you hope that you can make it, let's say, to the senior division and
Yeah, yeah, super division. Yeah.
super
In two
division some
years, of course.
2 years.
Yeah.
Uh, but more than that, I mean, as somebody who has been very vocal about it, right? Even if you make it, even if you do win the super division sometime, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there was an element of controversy regarding the AFA and its nomination this time.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
and the team which went was, I mean, to be fair to you guys, to everybody who spoke out, the team didn't do anything. Like the team
Mm-hmm.
United Chirang Duar, I mean,
Mm, mm,
naming it.
mm,
I
mm.
think lost both their matches, conceded 10 goals in two matches, and
Yeah.
came back.
Mm,
And I dug into it. It seemed like they had backing, like very heavy political backing, right?
mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
I mean, does it even make sense to even aim for the second division? Because even if you win the super division, it doesn't seem like there's any guarantee that you're going to get the push from your body, from your parent body.
Yes, I will come to the parent body, but I'm coming to the clubs again because I'm also a club owner. I see them very closely. Look, as right now, as far as district league is concerned, we are not qualified to play in the I League qualifiers, right? But our super division teams are, and except Assam State Electricity Board, Assam Police, and Northeast Frontier Railway, all the other six clubs were also eligible. So they didn't make a noise, right? So they never made any noise, and only we made the noise, right? So that didn't work because the clubs which suffered were actually silent. So this is one of the things. This is one of the reasons that new clubs like this, you talked about Chirangdwar. I don't have personally any problem with them, right? And I like that they are doing something. They have their ambitions, of course, but the system, the process has to be there, right? To be in the top division of the country, go through proper process, proper leagues. As far as this process is concerned, they didn't win anything. They just had the nomination, and AFF failed to organize a state league. At the same time, clubs, Guwahati, the top division clubs, and other top division clubs of the state were silent. So it is a total chaos from all stakeholders, and not only the AFA is responsible; they are also responsible. Of course, they are the most responsible, but I think other stakeholders have to raise their voice. Otherwise, these things will keep happening.
Uh, like I just had a question here. So that I
Okay.
mean, like being vocal in a system such as Indian football
Hmm.
is not taken very kindly to,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Hmm.
So, and having been in the system, um, you've probably seen that the movement or any sort of progress is like very, very slow to come. And when
Hmm.
you are vocal about the issues that are there on the ground, do you think that makes your entire journey even more difficult? And it actually, like, you probably have to put a lot of thought before you even, go out and speak about anything, thinking that, what if my club starts to suffer because of it?
Well, personally, or my our club have not faced anything like that yet, because we are now doing e-license course also. Two courses have already been finished, and we applied for that and we got it quickly. So we actually have to accept the leadership of the state FA because they are elected body. So what if they are doing wrong, we'll definitely raise our voice. If they are doing right things, we'll definitely be with them. And as I said, baby leagues are going on in different parts of the state, and we are happy with that. We are supporting with her knowledge or previous experience with that. So we are okay with the good things. We are not okay with the bad things. That is the silver line. And as long as raising voice causing a problem is concerned, I practically I'm not facing anything right now. I don't know about the future, but yes, that creates problem. But right now I cannot say anything about that because things are happening in a good way. So I won't comment what will happen in the next time. I'll definitely keep raising my voice.
So I mean, like I said, I've known you for a long time, and I love it that you're trying to make a difference, right? And but I have a slightly different take on it, right?
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
as somebody who spent, I think, a huge amount of time in the Northeast, right, and has been to the football centric areas, let's say a Manipur or a Mizoram, right, or even parts of Meghalaya, right. And when I traverse through Assam, let's say, apart from, let's say, Upper Assam, but in Guwahati, right, and when I had a lot of friends, my feeling is that it is still a place which, let's say, puts cricket on a pedestal. I'm not saying cricket and football can't coexist, but
Mm.
is that something that that has hindered the growth of the game? Because we've also seen that FIFA had a lot of practice pitches that they made for for football in after
Yeah.
the World Cup. I think they kind of renovated a couple, but then some over the years, some of the pitches have been again given to cricket again.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think somewhere that may be a reflection of the sports popularity in the state. Uh,
Not popularity exactly. This is about influence. I will take names, of course, but
okay.
you actually it was meant for both football and cricket, and FIFA made only about only one pitch and no cricket. Association adopted it and made it the earlier system again. I mean, the two football field and the pitch in the middle, and it helped actually the Guwahati Sports Association to conduct because we have four leagues and two leagues run simultaneously. So we were able to organize, conduct those leagues. But yes, cricket is taking the front foot because of course they have developed the field. So whenever such events, cricket events come, we fail to organize the football events. And I think before putting blame on the cricket association, I would like to ask the Assam Football Association why didn't they take the initiative to adopt the stadium and make it a football centered facility. And we have to admit that cricket will do their things, football has to do their things. They have their priorities, we have our priorities. So uh, Assam football didn't take any initiative in that, and we have a sitting MLA as the president of the Assam Football Association. So they could have done this, I think, but they let the stadium go for cricket, and now we have nothing else to accept or adjust with it, and we have already lost the first ground to some cultural event for the Border Trophy. First ground was the best, and it was almost destroyed, and it is not right now. It's not suitable for football. So we have to now conduct all the matches of Border Trophy in the second ground, which is far away from gallery shed. So it's an issue. So I think Assam football has to be proactive. And it has to compete, I think, in good heart.
I remember I remember something that you told, I think, Sharda, all those years ago. I think you
Hmm.
said something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I think you said something like football's
Sarda Ugra.
yeah, you said something like football's undercurrent is so powerful that
Mm-hmm.
and it's something I live by also,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I also feel that
Yeah, and
strongly.
football can transform communities. I've seen it in Mizoram. I've seen it in
Mm-hmm.
Mizoram
Yeah.
firsthand.
Okay. Mm.
When I went to Mizoram in 2012, they were probably not even a they were football players, but they did
Mm.
not have a sustained movement, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
that is what a one person with a good heart or a somebody
Yeah.
who knows the game
Mm.
can do, right?
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, if I look at it geographically, if you look at it culturally, right, there's no reason Assam
Mm.
shouldn't be doing well because it's in close
Yes.
proximity to other areas which do well, right?
Mm.
Even
Mm.
on a pan India scale, right? So you are close to completing the jigsaw, but there is some part of it that is missing, right? You have, if you look at geographically, you look at Arunachal Pradesh, it's again gaining steam, right? It's somewhere they're also doing well in some competitions. Your upper part of Assam has always produced players like Barinda Bodo, for example.
Not Upper
Halicharan,
Assam.
yeah, not upper
No,
Assam,
Upper it's the middle of Assam. And
middle of
Holicharan is
Assam.
from Kokrajhar, Lower
Kokrajhar,
Assam. Yes.
Lower
Mm.
Assam.
Mm.
But Bodo, you have
Yeah.
your Dugu,
Bodos. Yeah.
Bodo.
Tea
But
tribes.
yeah, so you have pockets which do well,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I mean, but you can't be fighting on all the fronts. Like for example, you can't be
Yeah.
fighting on
Of
the
course.
infrastructure front also.
Mm.
You
Mm.
can't be looking at cultural. There's only so much Guwahati city can do,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you
Mm,
have your bigger cousin who are fighting their own battles, right?
mm.
Who are struggling to get, from the looks of it, 200 people into the stadium, right? I mean, when you look at Northeast United, does it sometimes not, like, some, does it sometimes, do you think that, maybe we need before stepping into a national division, we need to create that culture first? Because Guwahati, your home base is Guwahati, right? I can talk about the entire bit of Assam, but you have to first transform Guwahati. How do you
Yeah,
do
of
that?
course. Yeah, of course. That's why we are creating a project called Baby League. Now we are almost 1,000 families strong, and I think the families and kids who came to support us in the C Division Football League final, as well as in the group matches, also, we're all part of that family. And this family is expanding, and we have some other projects also, which will be revealed in due course of time. And we are very much influenced by Atletico Bilbao. They have such strong structure to create community and community culture, football culture. So we are adopting some measures, and it is actually showing results gradually. And I can say it very convincingly that in due course of time, when we'll play I League or anything like that, crowds will be there for us. And I know various WhatsApp groups of Northeast United of FC. I frequently get screenshots from our well wishers where people usually support our projects, our all ambitions, and many of them openly say that we'll support them whenever they go to the I League or ISL. We'll support them like hell. I even remember the word someone told in a WhatsApp chat. So I think we're silently and gradually creating waves inside the football community of this, not only in the city but in the state, and we'll see the result in due course of time. And then we are not leaving anything behind, in terms of efforts.
So you mentioned Atletico Bilbao, now famously a club that plays Basque players. So when you look at it, what is the thing that you have adopted from them into Assam? Because just being there, you are aware that football is massive over there, a huge fan base, a lot of people who like football. May or may not support the Northeast United or whatever else, but there is huge support for football. So how do you take that thing from Spain, and what are the things that you've taken to Assam?
So first of all, most of our senior team players are from city only. Hardly one or two are from outside, and we are doing very good actually locally in terms of results. We are competing with higher division teams, even Northeast United reserves, same tempo and same spirit. The same players. These players are with us for I think 5 6 years, and they're all kids under 20. I think some of them are from baby leagues also. So with this system, we are getting other players from other age group also in near future. So I'm not saying that we'll be playing with only local players in the I League, but we'll definitely have the backbone of our team will have definitely have that backbone of local with the local players. Some of our kids are in the uh, Reliance Academy and Minerva Academy also, and we see them with us in 5 or 10 years, within 5 10 years, and they were transferred from us. They're very good. They're I think more I think better. So that actually that thing that system we adopted are inspired by Atletico Bilbao to some extent. We cannot just adopt the whole uh, Atletico thing, but yes, we are inspired by them, and many people say specifically in Assam that Guwahati doesn't have good football players. I disagree because there are pockets in Guwahati which produce good players, and they are with us. Most of them are with us, and hopefully, in when we play in the top division in due course of time, we'll have mostly those players with us. And that is, and at the same time, in terms of community engagement also, we are adopting measures along with the baby leagues to uh, attract the kids to our system, not only as a player but as a future supporter. The families are also have also become a supporters. So it's a constant process. We are trying our best. Let's see with limited resources.
So I just want to sort of tie everything in a bow. Roshan has asked a question. I think you've already answered. You have three players
Yeah.
in the current Assam team in the women's nationals.
Yeah, yeah. Not our players registered with us. We didn't train them. They were signed with us for IWL qualifiers. Then they were with us, and they left. No, they are still with us. Some of them are left. Some of them left, but these three are still with us.
Yeah, so I just had one last question here that I wanted to ask. As a club that has ambitions, you mentioned I League and things.
Mm,
How
mm,
difficult? I mean, it's difficult to explain for someone like me on the outside. We see the difficulty in a team that is trying to scale up, climb up the ranks, go to the second division, then try and get into
mhm.
the I League. How
Yeah.
difficult is that whole journey from your perspective? Because I think you'll have a lot more in-depth understanding of all the
Oh,
issues, financial, technical,
yeah.
logistics, the politics, the all the rest of it.
As a club owner, you say?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So look, right now we are searching for the system structure. We don't see the structure. Look, we are in a B division, probably six or seven division of the country. Right from there, we need to climb to A Super. After that, there is nothing, no state league. So unless and until we have a state league, we cannot compete in the I League qualifiers. Except nomination will not be allowed from this season. So we need that structure first. Then only we can talk about the finances. Right now, we are not in a position where we lose money. All right. So we are in a break even position. We are doing other events also, and we have a company called Sportscraft, which is in the sports management field, and we are managing various clubs, and we are trying to make the clubs aware of the professionalism, at the same time presence in the social media. So we are managing various social media pages. Right now we are managing both World Trophy and ATP Shield pages, and at the same time other clubs also. So we are trying to build contribute to build an ecosystem from our side. We cannot do it on our own, but we are trying to do it, because I personally believe that as long as we cannot grow individually as a club, you need to grow we need to grow together. So we are requesting frequently to the AFA to have the system in place, and we are also contributing from our side with our whatever experience we had, whatever experience or expertise we have. So so financials will come later. I think we'll manage that if we have the way pathway, and there are people who will invest, I believe, in due course of time. But for that we need to have the structure. So we are waiting for the structure. After that, everything will be in place, I think, and we are not so much feared of financials right now. We need the system. After that, everything will be in place, I hope.
And I think you're right. When I look at, like I say, when I look at Guwahati City and we look at Northeast United, right? One trying to grow bottom up and one trying to do top bottom, and I know which path I would take, right? I know which path I support, and honestly, like I said, this season it's I if you look at the Highlander Brigade and their feedback, it's I think interest is at an all time low. It's I think even 100 people, 20 people, sometimes it looks like they struggle to get, and I won't blame them. I mean, when a team is run with zero dialogue, transparency, or governance, I mean this is what is bound to happen. I suppose. I think Sid dropped. Just wait for him to join.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying when a team is doing this, and when there's zero transparency, and the fan clubs always called it out. They called it out every summer. They call it out every summer. They say they're the last, and it's very clear they're the last ones to finish up their business. It's very clear. Um, I mean, for me, I mean, I have no question. My only comment is that, I mean, but really hats off to you. And I, okay, he's dropped again. Yeah, I feel there are more people watching Santosh Trophy team than Northeast United. Roshan GK says, yeah, and Roshan GK, you're probably right. More people probably
Call it
watch.
Roshan only. Roshan GK sounds very formal.
Yeah, Roshan saying more people watching Santosh Trophy. Yeah, right. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I said, Abby and I, we had the good fortune of hosting Guwahati City FC last year. They came to play the qualifiers in Delhi, uh, and Sangam Vihar FC took them on. It was a very close match. I think it was 1-1, and you had. I mean, we saw the team, very good young team. Obviously, did not. I mean, did not have enough time to prepare with the conditions. Did not have time to really gel, I suppose. And I won't blame them also because I think the announcement came, I think, 20 days before, right? That is criminal. It is to somebody who's investing lakhs of rupees in sending a team where you don't there's no prize money, there's no, let's face it, there's no incentive at all, right? It's just them trying to get those girls recognized at a national level, right? That's it. And we faced against the likes of Sonia Marak, the ones that you were talking about, Sonia Marak, the ones that got selected this year, Benita Boro, and the rest also. So my whole point to you is that I like your approach. I think you should stick to your approach. I think going too big too fast, and we've seen so many clubs shut down. We've seen so many well thinking people come and dig their own graves that way, right? I think if you're going to do it, have it as a slow burn. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. You're not going to play for 10 years. It's fine. I mean, but you building a base is probably the route to sustainability, right? And like I said, you have to build a base from zero, like almost zero, right? Like I said, football in Assam were probably dead before you guys came. Yes, there was Northeast United who got crowds in their first 2 3 seasons, but the last six have been just been apart from that one season where Khalid Jamil led them to the playoffs, right? So like
That was in the bubble.
yeah, that was in the bubble. Yeah, that wasn't in this thing. So yeah, like I said, kudos to you, and I hope, I really hope that you guys continue. And also, like I said, we have a connection with you because very rare for journalists to run a team in India, but you are one, and Abby and I are also, we are also in the process of doing that. So I mean, we connect with you, we feel you, and we also understand that we are no nonsense people. We have to talk about the system, right? A lot of club owners would shy away. A lot of people would shy away, but I think it's young, dynamic club owners like you who have to essentially come and take on the system, because if there's no system, we have to build the system. It's as simple as that, right? So having said that, I just give it over to Sandeep. If you had any questions from the audience, you can go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, let's get to the questions from the audience. We've got some from Twitter. I think I will take those, which is something similar that is repeated here. Under 17 Asian Cup group draw. What do you make of the situation? Is what they've got a very tough draw, right? Japan, Vietnam, and Uzbekistan. Uh, but under 17, we are generally ustads. So I wouldn't be. If this was a Asian Cup draw, I would have been like, ayyo.
Yeah.
We
Sid, what do you make of it? Sid, have you seen the draw?
What? What? Can you repeat?
The draw? Have you seen the draw? It's
Yeah,
between
yeah,
Japan.
yeah, yeah. I laughed like you. I had a smile on my face, just like Abby. But
I
yeah, we have to face it.
we are properly done with that draw.
We are done.
Like that's brutal. The draw.
But I am so happy that we have Japan.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
I'm
course.
so
That's a
happy.
privilege, I think. Mm.
Absolutely. I mean,
It's
the part
more.
one, though, anyway, we'll lose.
So,
But at least
uh,
you get one of the
Yeah,
best.
I, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I've
of
been
course.
watching this anime called Blue Lock, right? And for people who have been watching it, so Blue Lock, they say, and it's about football, right? For people who don't know, it's on Netflix. It's about football. In that, the title of the character says, "In order to be the strongest, you have to devour the strongest. You
Yes, yes.
have to play the strongest at some point in time. How many years are you going to play Nepal, Bhutan with no disrespect to them?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
many years
with
are you
no
going to
disrespect. Yes.
play? Yeah, and beat your chest. This is your chance. I mean, if I was the players, I'd be like, this is probably a once in a lifetime chance to play Japan, right?
Yeah.
I'd
Of
leave
course. Mm.
everything on the field. I'd be like, this is it. Like, this is it. It doesn't get any bigger than this. This is a youth
And
nation.
worse than this.
Yeah.
Will be the worst result. So
Yeah.
we
For
have to
sure.
just, go up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, there's nothing worse that can happen.
Mm.
This is the worst that could have happened.
Just
It
go
has
out.
happened. So it's
Yeah.
only
So,
onwards.
do you any of you think that they can get into the quarters?
No.
No.
No, no, of
No.
course.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna clip this, and in
Isagi is coming after
some
us.
No, it's fine. You can clip
in
it.
some random way, if they manage to qualify with that, like last time against South Korea, they defended for the entire time and then scored. They considered a goal, and we called it a great performance when we were just sitting in front of the penalty box, right? So if they do that kind of things and qualify, I'm gonna clip this and shame you guys.
Sorry. Boring football. I mean, that was very boring football. With all respect to Bibiano, and I don't.
Wait, we have a Bibiano question. Bibiano's coaching will be put to real test before he gets graduated to a higher age group
It
slash
was
senior
put to
team.
real test against South Korea, and I mean, it was 1-0. But I mean, if it was a boxing match, it could have ended much, much earlier, right? And that's the beauty of football, right? You can play utter crap and then still be in the game until the last minute, right?
And it
So,
was a great performance. We, as Indians, we
yeah.
felt like, wow.
But talking about the under 17 group, India defeated Uzbekistan, I think, in a friendly recently, if I'm not wrong, at the
Yeah.
under
Mm.
17 level.
Mm.
And like I said, we
Mm.
tend to do that. We have
We are
20.
we are great under 17 team, no?
It's a
Who are
great under 17 team. I
close
mean,
to my age.
the reason is obvious. The reason is obvious why we are a great under 17 team and we are not a great under 20 or a under 23 team or even a senior team. The reason is obvious. For Vietnam and Uzbekistan, senior teams are clearly ahead of us. Clearly,
Yes,
Yes.
right?
yes.
And even if we finish second in that group, which we might have a good day against Vietnam and Uzbekistan. We might doesn't really prove anything. Honestly, I was reading a paper recently. It's from the RFEF, which is Spanish Federation, right? It says 80 to 90% of players we identified under 17 level never go on to play La Liga, right?
Yes, that similar kind of a thing has been released by Lily Shaw in England also, I think.
Ha.
A lot of them who
But
play at that level
no,
don't.
but
That's
this
only under
this was an
19.
eye-opening paper. I might share it on Twitter. Might share snippets with people tomorrow. It is closer on at the under 21 level. The accuracy is probably closer to, let's say, if someone is still playing for at that level at
Hello,
21.
hello.
Yeah, I
Are
can
you able
hear
to
you.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on. He's stuck.
Okay. Yeah, I think this internet is acting up.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, you share that paper. Go ahead and share that paper.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that kind of similar situation I've also read, but in England actually, and not the FA, but some they
Ha.
have a elite school.
No, and you look at our under 17 teams, right? You look at our under 17 teams. A lot of them go into oblivion. You don't hear about them. Uh, you don't hear about them.
I'm not able to hear you guys.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
We can hear him.
We can hear you.
We
We can hear you.
Just text him, no? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, in the meantime, Abhi, I'll come to you with the next question.
Okay.
Um, What Igor Stimac asked for 4 week camp and the international matches that India will be getting.
Bullshit.
I think at least a 2 week camp they should be getting.
But what is this camp fetish? Sorry, I'll let Abhi take it. But what is this camp fetish?
I
It's
mean, this. I think at least this year they're going to play SAF. Then they're
yeah,
going to play Madreka Cup. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but they're going to
yeah.
do that. Then they're going to play one more Kings Cup, I
You're playing
think, in
15
Thailand.
games. You're playing
Yeah,
15 games.
good enough preparation.
Good enough preparation,
Yeah,
Not
and
able to
even
hear
two
you
weeks is, I
guys.
think, okay.
yeah, I think you should rejoin.
Just text him, Marco.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Abby, why don't you take this?
Yeah. See, personally, I am actually very torn about this camp thing, right? Like, I do kind of feel that the quality that we are at as the Indian team, we do require that camp, even if it's a 2 week camp. Like, I'm not supportive of like a whole month or 2 months. That serves no purpose according to me.
Excursion.
It can be a grilling uh 2 week camp, and I think that should be good enough. But I do feel like we are not at a level where we can go into tournaments without a camp,
Yeah,
and that's
for
that's
sure.
my understanding.
For sure. For sure.
I This is where I feel like obviously the countries that are better than us, the players can just come in and start playing and they'll be very very good, as a team.
Yeah.
They'll gel along, they'll be all great. That cannot be the case with us because our quality is not there. That level of football intelligence, that level of skill, that level of play is not there.
Mm.
So that is why I feel the camp is required, but I also feel like Stimach just looks for excuses. That's just plain my thing. He just wants everything in his kitty, and then you move one needle and then he'd be like, that's the problem. That's why we didn't do well. So it's just that I personally I don't know with
Okay.
Stimach, but yeah, I'm not averse to camps completely because I think we do require because of the
I
level.
think, yeah.
I,
I'm with Abby. With I think 2 week camp is fair.
I have a question to Sid. Sid, can you hear us now?
Yeah, sorry, I was out for some time.
Yeah. If your coach came out publicly and insulted the fans, said you're
Yeah.
sleepy and you're not making enough noise, and he said, because you're so quiet, we played so badly. What would you do? Would you sack him on the spot? What would you do?
Well, I will definitely have serious discussion with him. If not sacking, probably I'll ask him to apologize. Definitely, you cannot dictate fans. You know,
Huh?
yes, for any rude behavior in any racist or any uncivilized behavior, you can definitely ask them to behave, but
Huh.
not for making noise, of
No,
course.
it baffles me. He's talking to people who literally have football in their
Yeah,
blood.
yeah,
In
blood.
their
Yes.
blood.
I don't know what he was thinking.
I, I don't know. I
Stimach
don't.
half the time just says things that I don't think even he understands what he has said
Yes,
half
no
the time.
idea.
But he
Like,
won the
he goes
game.
on to say bizarre
He
stuff.
won the
You
game,
won
but
the
it was a
game. There
very
was no
poor
need to say
performance.
that. You
Yeah,
won the
yeah.
game.
That is what I'm saying. I don't think he himself like thinks before he says anything. He just
Do you
goes on
think he
and
has been
starts stuff.
misquoted? Because it made
No,
no sense to me when I heard it.
no.
And
Even
I
that
loved Renedy's response
even
also.
that whole thing that he
Yeah,
spoke
ready.
that
Yeah.
I am leaving after Asian Cup because I had an understanding that we'll have players from outside being allowed to play in the Indian team. That's just so stupid, bro. Like, where did you get that understanding from? Like, you're asking the
But the
government to
first
change
question here is,
policies
did
because you want.
AIFF lie to him also? I'm playing devil's advocate because that AIFF, that brass is very capable of saying whatever they wanted to get people in. So they could have just said, "Aha,
I
we'll
get
fix this
that. I get
player
that,
of
but
Indian origin."
that's surely not the reason why you're leaving. Just leave. It's okay. You don't have to like say why you're leaving. It's okay. We understand you're ought to leave. You
It's
leave.
like
That's
it's
it.
like Stephen saying I resigned from the national team after the first round of the Asian Cup.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
it's like whoever said it, it's just right. No, no.
yeah.
Either you're going or asked to leave. But if I say I'm going first, then it feels like I am in control, right?
Like,
That
no,
was the situation.
but my point is, I did not take that whole fan thing really well. Fine, I have somebody who spent enough and more time in the state, starting a baby league there in the home state, in the home district of Baladevi and Dangme Grace in Bishnupur, right? And for the baby league, 1,000 people would come and make noise like it's some Christmas, right? So I don't know what he's saying, right? And honestly, if I was a fan and I was watching my team play like that, right? This is an educated football crowd, bro. They're not going to cheer. They're not going to be like mindless zombies saying India, and they're not going to do that. They're not. You play well, they'll cheer. You don't, they will boo you, right? I went to watch Neroka versus Trau at the Kuman Lampak, and it was I think 5-0 to Neroka, right? Trau supporters did just went ballistic on their this. They were like, so they're not this is not some place where there's some artificial fan culture. These are
Hmm.
people who know the sport way better, bro. Like for example, I was sitting in the. I'll tell you what kind of crowd the Kuman Lampak is, right? I was just sitting in the crowd, and someone's like, "Oh, that guy played for Mohan Bagan in the '90s." I'm like, "What? I didn't even know that, right?" And then somebody's sitting like five rows behind you. They'll be like, "Oh, he played 2 games for India." I'm like, "What?" Like, so it's
Yeah.
that
It
sort
is
of crowd, right?
crazy in Manipur that when you walk around, everybody's played for state. That fellow's played international
Yeah,
wushu. This fellow is a hockey player.
hockey
My
player.
sister randomly walked into a lift and there was a lady with an Indian jersey. And then she didn't know who she is. She's like, "Who are you? Are you an Indian player?" She's like, "I'm an international boxer." "Oh, what's your name?" "Sarita Devi."
What? She
Then
didn't know
she
who
walked.
Sarita
Yeah,
Devi.
right. And then she walked out and met international hockey player. And then she's calling, "What is this place where everybody's international?"
The Sangai Express is 12 pages long. It gives 3 pages to sport.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's 25% of the paper devoted to sport.
And 1.5 pages of it is only local,
Only
all
local.
local,
Yes.
only local sport.
Yes. Yes. Stuff like UB Rugby. Rugby
Hmm.
with a coconut is covered in
Yeah, yeah,
print there.
everything.
It is all of our dreams to be exist in a place like that.
Yes, of
See,
course.
to be
Hmm.
very honest, that is why you have the culture that you have, because it's being seeded to people also. It is not just, uh, it won't sprout from nowhere, right? All, like we keep saying, all stakeholders have to come together to create that sort of culture and, sustain that. So yeah, I mean, over there, like media plays a massive part. If you're covering local sport, people will know about it, and people will automatically have some sort of interest. Different people will pick up different sport, and there would be a certain following for every single sport. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think there is a lot to talk about. If anybody wants to have a special episode on Manipur, we can do that because all three of us have spent a lot of time there and have learned a lot of things. And we'll also try and get an expert from that part of the world as well to tell us those details also. Just let us know in the comment section. Coming to another question that was asked, why isn't ISL increasing to 16 clubs? Which I think, I mean, it's not happening because the existing clubs only are struggling to survive.
The existing club said we won't even have
And
a third leg. The initial plan was to have a third leg to increase it to
not
30
happening. Yeah.
matches. The existing club said, listen, bro, we are bleeding on logistics, we are bleeding on travel. And that's what happens when you have a bloody salary cap that is higher than Australia's, right?
No, no, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that part. But the reason why I asked you is this because I wanted to ask Abby about this. IWL next year, they said they're going to try home and away. And I feel that's a major mistake because a lot of these guys will not
Are
have
you
the money to do
serious?
that.
Are you
So,
serious? It's not going to happen.
so, Abby, how do you look at this development here that if you want to play home and away, and you can't send them by train, of course not, because the men's team is flying. So all the logistics adds up. How is that going to help women's football?
Sandeep, it's not even about the fact that men's team is flying, so you can't send the women's team by train.
That is something that I was told by one of the clubs.
It's literally, if you're playing a league or tournament, whatever, in a home and away format, and if you do like put training, rest, all of that in place, then you are definitely not going to be able to you know uh, let them go by train, because train takes
Yes.
time. If you're going to another part of India, it will take time, and that will mean you'll either cut out on the training part or the rest part, which doesn't work, which is why the flight will come into play, really.
Mhm.
And it's logistically very, very bad idea for the clubs to be put in that situation where they'd have to pay for flights, because it's not possible for them. uh, Women's football does not pay anything to um, the clubs who are involved or engaged in women's football. It has no incentive, it doesn't really pay up, nothing. It's literally everyone's just trying to build something up from the ground at this point in time. So it's important for the federation to actually understand all these logistical issues, all these monetary issues, and create an environment where these guys can start making some sort of money, start trying to, if the clubs start making money, they'll be able to pay the players, which will create that whole better system where football would be taken more seriously as a profession. So there are lots of factors. Sorry, it's just a very, very stupid idea to ask the women's football clubs to just start flying by air. It's bizarre. I don't even know how they sat in that meeting and decided something like that. It's just weird.
Sid, would you play home and away, or would you prioritize rest, training, and the rest over playing home and away? What would you prefer
In in women's football,
in any football? Let's say.
uh, going by the theory, of course, home and away is the format for the league. But as far as our money or our financials is concerned,
Mm,
we right now, if we are allowed to play in the IWL or anything like that, we definitely like to have centralized venue
yeah.
at this point of time, of
Mm,
course. And as every said that train travel is a disaster for any club, and we conceded 12 goals in our first match
yeah.
because of the travel fatigue. And the next match they didn't play that bad. You
Yeah.
also saw that.
Yeah.
So that's an issue.
Mm,
And I think centralized venue with ample amount of time to prepare, I
yeah.
think this is the way right now at this point of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And we
One
might
thing,
we
sorry,
might actually see
go.
Sid in the league. We might actually see, because, like I said, they are having an IWL two probably for state champions, and if the AFA does come through on its promise, I think GCFC is among the favorites to win, and I think that might
Not favorites,
favorites.
because you cannot say anything, because there are if there is no criteria set for uh, playing in the league, state league, then anybody can play, and there are good
Correct,
players, good
correct.
teams, sorry, across the state with good
But
girls. And
but you've shown intent to play the IWL, so I'm assuming more people gravitate
yes, yes,
towards you
yes,
to
yes, of
to
course,
play.
yes.
So
And we will definitely try our best to have the best girls from the state,
yeah,
state league happens. But for that, we need to have some time to prepare ourselves for that. Cannot have just a good team or a better team with 1 month or 15 days. You cannot just have that. You need to have proper preparation for that. I don't know what is going to happen in the next season, but I hope AFA will inform us
okay.
at least 3 or 4 months prior to the league.
yeah. So, and one of the replies here is IWL trying to become
Sorry, Sandeep.
professional.
Sandeep, I
Sorry.
just wanted to
Yes,
add
yes.
something.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
It's just that, and just picking up from what Siddharth said, the only thing that I think, that's something that we, all of us as journalists, have been screaming for I don't know how many years now: calendar.
Yeah.
If you have a calendar, everything gets sorted for every single club who's invested in actually doing something. if you don't have a calendar, it's always going to be last minute. And sorry to disappoint you, Siddharth, I'm not sure AFA would be able to let you know anything three
Yeah,
to four
yeah.
before,
It's up to the All
because
India Football Federation, I think.
because they would not, because AFA would also not know anything 3 to 4 months
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Of course.
AIFF doesn't know anything 3 to 4 months
Yeah.
before. So yeah, it's
But here's the thing: somebody just said, "Is Kalyan going to be a history maker somewhere further up?" But one, if he produces a calendar at the beginning of the year, he
yes,
is definitely going to be a history maker.
yeah, yeah.
And
So I am directly involved in the Borlu Trophy. Once it was a tournament which was participated by a lot of top division teams. You know that. But right now we are forced to organize it at any point of time because we need money to actually run the whole organization, and the money comes from the Bolu Trophy, the grant that government give us for the organization of the tournament. Also use it for other leagues and
Mm.
other events also.
Yeah.
So we are forced to do such things. But if we have a calendar, definitely we can attract better teams. And I think it's up to the AFA and the AFF. They should uh, sit together and decide. I don't know that will
yeah,
happen or not.
I'm so Ashu has mentioned that AFF can maybe take care of the logistics. It's not going to happen because AFF is not having any money enough to pay people at some point. So, but
They AFF just
Uh,
hired a 67-year-old CTO.
yeah, yes,
67
and
years
yeah,
old.
Chief Technical Officer.
Chief
yeah,
Technical,
yeah, yeah.
67 years old.
Okay.
See, this all these okay because they know there is a few other people also who have come in who are doing multiple jobs and all at this moment. A lot of the director positions
Ashu's
have been
very
covered.
Ashu's very optimistic. You can flash Ashu's comment if you want to. Just flash it. Tete Hamar.
Tetamar.
Yeah. But see, Tete Hamar has his hands bound. If
Yeah,
he
yeah.
in an ideal world, Tete becomes the president of the AFF, then
Mm,
we see then the man at the top has control. Right now,
yeah.
Tete has
Mm,
middle management, right? He's head of the league
yeah.
committee. There are people above him who are prioritizing signing memorandum of understandings over calendars. So it's not going to happen.
You saw
And as
Pratt's
a
tweet about he said if we had as many good players as the MOUs we signed, we'd be much better.
So, as an
I saw
office
That
bearer
was
of a district, sorry, I just want to
yeah,
add
yeah,
with the Tetiamar saga.
yeah.
Well, as an office bearer of an elected body or elected sports body, I can also feel the same. With a mid-level post, or you cannot do anything. And when it comes to organization, a registered society, or something like that, there are so many obstacles in
Yeah,
taking decisions. So it's quite tough.
yeah.
Yeah, so just
exactly.
rattling.
In Mizoram, he was in control.
Mm.
Yeah,
He had the reins, so he was able to do things as he deemed right. Over here, there are lots of other factors. The AFF, it's not his decision, essentially, and there are lots of other factors, other state associations also involved, other members of the league committee also involved. So there are lots of different factors. So it's really not just in his hand to, just sit with his team and be like, we'll make a calendar today and flash it off on AIFF website. It's not possible for him to do that.
Yes,
Yeah, but
now we
I was just looking through the appointment. I'm just going to quickly say this because I anyway say whatever I want to. So, between the CTO, between the futsal consultant, and the head of referees Trevor Kettle, um, we might be able to save about 3 CR every year, and bang, suddenly you have longer leagues. I'm
yeah,
just gonna say it. It's a great idea in my head. Obviously, it's just in my head. I mean, the
yeah,
rest will be.
and it will stay in your head and on this grid because it won't go anywhere else. And yeah, so I just wanted to rattle through other questions as well. What type of coach do you think we should get after Asian Cup? I think some person who understands Indian football. I think that would be the ideal one. And what should be our realistic targets in the next FIFA World Cup qualifiers? I mean, I don't. I mean, trying to qualify for Asian Cup is the realistic target. I think.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Realistic
Exactly.
target to focus on Asian Cup and not the Football World Cup. So yeah, matlab,
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
FIFA
What
World
are
Cup is far,
Uh,
far away.
and
Let's.
even some excited people are advocating conducting the World Cup here. I mean, I said, okay, I'll leave the country. It
we have
happens here.
we have sorry, but Brazil is a massive like football uh, country, but we have the example of Brazil. What happens when you don't have money and you still go on and host a World Cup?
Hmm. Hmm.
You fall in debt, the increase of crime, the civil society is at is in danger. So let's not really get there.
I'm saying the men's Asian Cup happens here. It's going to happen here sooner rather than later, guys.
yeah, yeah. I think
Which
that is
which
a hostable tournament for us,
which
like
cup?
Asian Cup,
Asian Cup, men's Asian
Oh,
Cup.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's going to happen here, guys, sometime
hostable
out
one.
here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So there is also a question about what are the positive things happening in youth development right now, which can yield result in the future.
Nothing.
Obviously, we heard from Sid
Sid
whatever
Deka.
they are doing.
Yeah.
There is, but
I'm
I think,
trying. We're trying.
Yeah.
but beyond that, I don't think AFF Elite League has happened in 3 4 years. I mean, I don't know when they are going to restart it also. But Reliance's youth development is actually much better than
Hmm.
the football level. So
So
I
we
don't
have
know.
two kids in the Reliance Academy right now, and we heard from them. They're actually doing good.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
Hmm.
I mean, I know a lot of people like to show them as villains, but
Hmm.
compared to AFF, I think they're doing a slightly better job.
For me, it's
For
clear.
ISL, yes, but
Yeah.
for this, not.
Yeah.
They are doing
And
good in this.
if,
For
if
ISL,
I
yes, I will always.
yeah,
Hmm.
if I just take the ISL aside, right, and then I compare FSG and AFF, I think the lines are very blurred as to which is the villain and which is the professional organization. I think
Hmm.
That's what
I
I was also.
I think it's pretty clear to me which is the professional and which is the villain. So no, I I mean, but I get Sid's point about the ISL. It's also down to the clubs, like you said yourself, right? Yeah, in Guwahati, the clubs are also to blame. In ISL
Yeah,
also,
yeah, of course.
the clubs the
No,
clubs
I,
have.
I, I was against ISL
Hmm,
at its first, as its first
hmm.
version.
Version
It's
one
that it's closed league.
closely.
It shouldn't have
Hmm,
been. No, it shouldn't happen.
hmm.
So that was my, main complaint against
Yeah, yeah,
the structure, not against the ISL Indian Super League or the
yeah,
name or anything. It is now open.
yeah. Hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah.
There are
No,
multiple questions that
Open
are
from
coming.
one side.
open one side, yeah, relegation.
Mm. Mm.
No,
So
but no, but if relegation happens, then Guwahati City automatically becomes the most popular club in Assam. In Assam.
That
I think relegation would have created so much trouble for us also, because the team would have been with us for much of the time
Ah,
in our division.
yeah,
And actually,
relegation.
Subham Rava, I would like to congratulate Subham Rava, the
there is
first
some
ever Assamese coach,
yeah.
A licensed coach. He's doing his best. He's doing it all alone. I talk with him. I talk with him regularly almost, and he is doing it all on his own,
Hmm.
not from much support from the management.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's doing his
And
best.
I've
I
heard
mean,
good
there
things
is no.
about
I
that
mean,
guys.
ISL is obviously a closed league, open from one side, but even I League is now ended up being open from one
Yeah.
side only. Nobody gets
And the
relegated unless they want to
relegation is
join.
like, it's okay. We might do it. We might not do it. Relegation also become like that only. So,
Yeah. So
uh-huh.
I have one question that everybody is asking. It's about Manolo to FC Goa. From what I understand, it is not an absolutely done deal, but it is almost done deal. So
Yeah,
it seems to my, I mean, I did not. Fantastic move for FC Goa. I think they got their man.
yeah.
he's
Uh,
been trying and trying and
I
trying, and
know
finally they did it.
they've got it.
Finally they did it.
They've got him. I mean, again, I'm saying still now it's not officially done. So there is no saying what can happen. ATK Mohan Bagan can come with like 100 crore offer or something, because that's what they do. But they can't sack Ferrando. No, we won the title now.
FC
We'll take
Goa
it.
will
We'll see.
stab themselves if ATK Mohan Bagan come in between this time. I think they will stab
No, they
themselves.
won't they won't
They
sack
won't.
they won't
I
sack
mean,
the senior because he just won the title.
yeah, he won the
Uh,
title, and he is in very good terms with the man. So
but in terms of marriages, perfect marriages. I don't know. Can it get any better? Am I
It's a
dreaming?
fantastic thing that they got. They got the
Yeah.
right coach.
I think I
They've been trying for a while, but Manolo, to be fair to him, wanted to honor his contract. He wanted to see through this project
Great
for
man,
a while.
great guy.
So he's
Honestly,
done everything.
honestly, and like I said, there's one coach who's blaming the fans. This is a coach who has won a lot of things, and once after a match said, "If I was the owner, I'd sack the coach today." He said of
Yeah,
himself. This
because
is
he
a guy.
made a bad substitution.
I'm
yeah, he
I'm
made a
saying
bad
I'm saying this is a icon, or this is a testament, and this is a example for all young Indian coach, including me, to follow the guy, and just the guy's humility, and just the guy how he speaks in press conferences, right? You can see that this guy is no nonsense. He is football personified, you know. And I'm
Absolutely.
so glad a guy like that came to India. He's
Yeah, and also
improved.
the way he has developed the Indian players at Hyderabad FC. I mean, he has actually like spent time and made sure that they became better players, and we have seen all those players improve so much. So yeah, I mean, that in itself is testament to the fact that he really did put himself through the ringer when it came to the project and
Yeah.
really tried to make a difference.
Yeah, look at where Hyderabad was before he took over and where
and
they are now.
and you
So
know what, he's going to an ecosystem where you have players who have gold dust qualities, right? He's going to an ecosystem where you have good youth players, right? He's just going to relish this, right?
yeah,
I
and you are going to a club which is going to further help you to develop these players only. So all the best to Manolo, all the best to FC Goa. I'm really
I I
excited
I
for
I
the
hope
next game.
just announce it already, man. Don't keep on. But
No,
yeah,
no, but there is still that's what we have to
the
get
Super
into
Cup,
now.
the Super Cup, yeah.
The Super Cup and all that stuff. So we will talk about them closer to
Poor
the
Pena
tournament.
must feel like no Abdullah Diwana. No, Begani Shadi and Abdullah
I mean, to be fair, this year FC Goa should have been in the top six. I don't
yeah,
know how they managed to mess it up in the end, but somehow and all they. You say what do you say? You steal defeat from the jaws of victory. No,
yeah, yeah, that's what they did.
that's exactly
That's
what
what they
happened
did.
over
What
there.
they did. Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one thing I like about Goa in some sense is they're very proactive in terms of figuring out mistakes and rectifying them. So I expect them to be back next year. Albert Roca will not be going to Hyderabad FC. He is in Bangalore FC only as CTO or CEO or something. But which I think no CTO. CEO is Darren, right?
Darren is a sporting director. Uh, Albert
I
Roca, I
think
think.
Darren CEO, but whatever. Both of them are in Bangalore FC. It doesn't matter what their
Okay.
designations are. And yeah, so we'll talk about the Super Cup next week when just closer to the tournament starts. There will be that AFC Cup playoffs in between. Second Division League is going on. People, if you have time, go and see those games. Some teams are nice. I saw a couple of them. Is there
Those
any
bad.
stream for them?
No. Only
No
final
stream.
round. Final round
Okay.
only.
Women's national championships is going on. You can, it's in certain zones. You can figure out that there is one in Bangalore if anybody wants to go and watch them. Manipur is playing here. They smashed 7 or 9 goals in their first match,
Yeah.
and
And
Karnataka
Assam
also
is
scored
also in the
nine
same
goals.
group. So you can also catch Sid's girls also in Bangalore. They're also in the same group. And
Yeah,
unfortunately for Assam, but they have Karnataka and Manipur in that group. So I think the probability of going to.
Bihar also. Bihar
Mhm.
got smashed by Karnataka
Yeah,
nine.
Bihar again, like I said, Bihar at under 17 level does really well, right? And
No,
again,
I was actually looking forward to watching Bihar because they have a lot of players in and around that World Cup thing, right? That
what?
from that region.
Jharkhand. That's
Jharkhand,
Jharkhand.
Bihar side. Bihar also had few players.
So Bihar is the final of the under 17
National championship
national championship, and I
in
mean,
Assam.
yeah.
God
Now
knows.
So I was looking forward to watching them, but they're not that strong.
No.
it's obvious, isn't it?
Yes,
It's
Sandeep.
obvious. Like I mean, if
I know,
somebody
but
does,
I was
So
interested in watching. I was interested in watching Manipur also.
No, but I'm saying
Let's
somebody
see.
does really well at the under 17 level, but not great at the senior level. I mean, it's pretty obvious what they're doing at the at the under 17 level. And we've known that of Bihar because Delhi's played Bihar both in sub junior and junior.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even at that time also it was fishy. This time also it was fishy. Right? So this is what happens. I mean, they just traded victory in the short term for this nonsense. And at the senior level, they aren't be able to do jack shit. And at the senior level, probably even Delhi is also going to probably defeat them.
Yeah.
That's
No,
also something.
also what happens at the senior level, even though physicality matters, and obviously if you're a physical team, sometimes at some phases of the game you do have an edge, I feel, in India. But at the senior level, still there are teams that have a lot of quality with the ball. For example, Mizoram, or for example, Manipur. So, yeah, you do. It becomes a secondary factor, and then physicality is what that is going to carry you through.
You can use physicality when you get close to the player. If you can't even get close to the player, what physicality are you going to use?
Yeah, yeah.
On that note, we are run overshoot. Always want to try and finish it in 1 hour, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to ask one last question, and it's only because I find it really hilarious. Harka, will you be a commentator in the women's national knockout round again?
No, not this time. Not this time. I was there last time. I not this time. My good friend is not going to allow me to do it. My
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
no,
On
and
that bombshell, I mean, that's the biggest news here. On that bombshell. Thank you so much, Sid. Thank you, Abby. Thank you all.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for having
guys.
me.
thank you, Sid. We've been meaning to do this for
Thank
some time
you.
now.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
and like I said, we are we are very interested in football as it's happening in the grassroots, right? As it's
Yeah,
happening. So I mean, I think you've given a very good picture, and I hope there are people who've tuned in, from Assam. Please get in touch with Sid. Please support him. And
thank
like I
you.
said, I mean, I look forward to what Sid Deka and what is City achieve in the decades to come.
Yeah, we have a decade plan. So let's see.
Yes, let's see.
All the best to you. Everybody, please
Thank you,
do.
Sandeep.
Yeah, everybody, please like, subscribe, share, do all that good things, and let us all grow. Yes, we have some.
Last,
Sid, just before we end, Roshan is asking, is there a possibility to buy a jersey of your club, Sid?
Oh, not right now. We'll definitely. What's his name?
Roshan.
Roshan.
Okay. So Roshan will definitely, when it comes out in the market, we'll definitely inform you. It's not, we are making jerseys and tees, but not for the profit or anything, like for market. Let's see, we'll definitely do that in
Right.
due course of time.
Whenever you do
Thank
that,
you.
you let us know. We'll ensure that we will
Sure,
also
sure,
do
sure,
wherever possible.
sure. We have plans. We have plans.
Okay.
Definitely we have.
Yes.
Okay.
On that note,
Thank you.
thanks a lot, guys. It's quite late now. Thanks for everybody who is listening as well. And
Thank
like I
you.
said, do all those good things like, subscribe, and
Yeah.
share. So,
Thank you. And good night to all of you.
Good
Good
All
night.
night.
three of
Good
you.
night,
Bye
Siddharth.
Good
bye.
night.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sid.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Good
Bye,
night,
guys.
everyone. Bye.